In this short video, I do a quick review of all of my white coloured pencils on black paper. Hi everyone, I've just been doing a quick little test video. I'm working on a commission at the moment, and it's going back to a style I used to do a few years ago. I used to create lots of these portraits. I call them my white on blacks. There's a tiny bit of colour going in this one as well. It's going to show up quite bright in your screen if I just shade some of the light out. It's because my daylight lamp is quite reflective on the paper. Now the paper I'm using is something called Somerset Velvet. It's originally designed for printmaking, and I know the black is one of the very few, if not the only, true black cotton rag, or it was 3 or 4 years ago when I was first using it. So it's fully archival, it's true black. This is quite a heavyweight one. It doesn't take many layers at all. It's very fragile, so you can't rub out on it. What you can do though is, obviously, if you put down a little bit too much white in an area, you can just go back in with your black pencil and just, you know, take some of it out again. So I'm going to do that probably down here. I'm going to put in some extra outlines here of the fluffy fur around the ear, and then I'll just knock them back with my black pencils. That's sort of how I erase on this paper. But anyway, what I wanted to do before I got going, because I've got more pencil brands in than I did when I first used to use this paper. Oh, and the thing is with this paper as well, it's actually discontinued at the moment. They had a problem at the mill. St Cuthbert's Mill is where they make this with the black. So they withdrew it from production a couple of years ago. So I actually bought about 10 years supply of the stuff. So I've got loads, but I rarely use it at the moment. But that's why I thought someone commissioned me for Christmas, and then someone else did. So I pulled it out this morning. So I thought what I'd do, good opportunity just to pull out all my white pencils that I've got and see which ones work the best on it at the moment. And I was really surprised, because it wasn't what I thought. Now originally, when I first started doing these, I only had one set of pencils really, which were the Albrecht Dürers. So these are the ones that I initially used. So what I've done is just done a little test on here. Let me just zoom in, show you how I did the little test. And that's the Albrecht Dürer results there. I just literally did my usual sort of light touch flicks of fur, just a few little marks, and then I've gone in with a little bit more pressure, and then I've gone in with as much pressure as I can put down on this paper, and just done a few little flicks away. And then I've just done the same with all of my other brands, and you can see here I pressed quite hard. So that's, zoom in a little bit more, hopefully you can just see there, pressed in quite hard. That's what happens to this paper, literally 3-4 layers. If they're not light layers, if you press too hard, it just totally disintegrates. It's done the same here with the Pablo, the Derwent Lightfast. Let me just zoom out again. So that's how I just did a quick test. And then over on the other side, I literally drew a box. Let me find my Prismacolor there. Drew a box. Light to medium pressure, up and down, then across. Just to, and you can see there just the variety of results. I'm hoping you can see them okay. I'll take a scan of them as well, because I say this light is reflecting quite brightly there, and lift it up out of the way. So anyway, originally I would have used the Albrecht Dürer, but I thought to myself, well, I know the brightest white one I've got is, or rather, let's go through them. So we've got here the Polychromos. Well, I know the Polychromos are quite translucent, so they are not going to be my brightest white, but they're quite good if I want to do areas, say on this dog here, if I've got areas that are going to be not quite as bright as, say, the brightest whites. So if I want it more like a grey effect, I might use my Polychromo. So then I've got the Pablo. Now Pablo, as most of you know, with my tutorials, when I am doing my tutorials, normal tutorials, the one odd pencil that I will pull in is usually a Pablo white, because I find it to be my nicest, brightest white for using on colour pencil pieces. But my Pablo here, there's not much difference between the Albrecht Dürer and a little bit better than the Polychromo, but it's not that bright, and also it has torn up the paper there. So I put my Pablo to one side as well. And then new pencil into the block. New kid on the block is obviously Derwent Lightfast. And I was hoping that these are going to be lovely and creamy and bright. They're a little bit better than the Pablo and the Albrecht Dürer, but only slightly. So that one's got ruled out. Next one I presumed anyway, because it's a not very soft pencil. It's not known for its pigment, it's just known for outlines. And again, I would sharpen this up and use this really fine for any fine flicky hairs that I need. And that's my Verithin, so you can see there it's really wishy-washy. But that was presumed. So then I thought, oh, okay, maybe luminance is going to come in nice and bright. Nope, not. It's bright, a little bit brighter than the Derwent Lightfast, a little bit creamier, and it hasn't dug up the paper like the Lightfast did. So yeah, getting better. And then I thought, oh, I've got some Brunzils. These are the Brunzil Sakuras. Again, I won some of these a few years ago, so I do like them. They're really nice pencils, and they've gone on okay. They're a bit shiny. The others are quite more dull, quite shiny in their application. And you can sharpen these up nice and sharp for details, so not too bad. But they're more what I'd say, if we're going to look at whites, I'd say these are a warmer white, like even the Lightfast and the Pablo and the Polychroma. They feel like a warmer white compared to like a bright cold white. The luminance, I'd say, is a nice bright cold white. So which other one did we have at the top to test? Yes, this is the one that I presumed was going to be my brightest white, which is the Derwent drawing pencil. Now I struggle with the Derwent drawing pencil because I don't feel I can get a super sharp point on it without it crumbling, but I will use it on areas I don't need a sharp point, or like, you know, like a bigger surface area. So this is the Derwent drawing, and it is, again, it's a cold white and it is bright, but the one that surprised me the most is actually a Prismacolor. I don't use, oh sorry, I did do a Museum Aquarelle as well, which came out quite well. Okay, so the one, like I say, it shocked me the most was this Prismacolor, so I just put it on. Let's just do a few lines. Here's the Polychromo, real nice light touch flicks. If I do the same with the Prisma, that's the same pressure. And I'm hoping you can see there a slight difference between that Polychromo and that Prisma. If I go in, this is the Derwent white, which was I thought was going to be my whitest of whites, but that one is not as white, if you see what I mean, white as my Prismacolor. So for this portrait that I'm doing, obviously I've got a beautiful white blaze on this dog, so I'm going to use this like a tonal value chart now. I'm going to use the different pencils. Again, here I did it on this side as well with the just the blocks of colour. The Prisma came out, if I do it in rating, the Prisma came out the brightest, whitest of them. The Brunzil was next, then the Derwent drawing and the Museum Aquarelle, and then the rest, the Lightfast, the Pablo, Poly and Albrecht Dürer, they were about all the same. Luminance was a little bit brighter, but your Prismacolor, they say brightest white, the Brunzil Sakura and Museum Aquarelle, and your Derwent drawing, those are the four good whites. And I did the same, I don't know if you can see here, I've started just playing with the blacks as well, and the blackest of black that came out is also the Prismacolor. So I best blow the dust off my Prismas because I'm using them in this portrait. I'm combining them. What I've decided to do is literally, I'm combining them. I've got my black and my white Prismacolor, and then for super fine detail at the moment I am using my black and my white Polychromo. So those are the results, quite surprising to me, of this little test, and hopefully you can see on the camera the difference between them all. Okay, so I hope that helps, and I am going to be getting on with this commission piece. Thank you very much for watching, and if you did enjoy what you saw and you picked up some tips, please don't forget to subscribe. Press the little button down on the right hand side of the screen. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.